everyone, welcome back to the Stogie Review. And for this cigar review, I'm doing the Elogio, well, it'll focus, the Elogio Crescent City Cigar Edition. Now this is a special edition created by Elogio for Crescent City Cigar Shop. And if you've followed me for a while, you know that's my go-to shop in Louisiana, especially in New Orleans. And they are such a big seller of Elogio cigars that they had a collaboration that decided, hey, let's do a house cigar for Crescent City Cigars. And Armando, that owns that shop, is a good friend of mine, and he sent me a couple of these to do a review on. Now, this is the second year of this release. It's a very limited release. Only I think it's a few hundred boxes total of this release every year. And the first year that I did this cigar, I remember it's a lot like the Habano version, but it's got a lot of spice kicked up to it. So I'm looking forward to checking out this new release and seeing how it's like. Don't know really what the blend is or anything like that. I believe it's the Habano blend, but it's got more Ligero in it. It's a little more kicked up. But I'm not really sure other than that exactly what this is. Kind of hush hush. But anyway, let's get a good look at this cigar here. Let me see it. It's a really beautiful looking cigar. There's the foot of it. Well, I won't refocus on that, will it? Come on. I just had a problem with that. Within the cap of it. Beautiful looking, really well made cigar. It's got a nice little oily sheen to it. Just a real beautiful looking cigar. They only come in the Toro size, which is great for me. I really like the that size. Behind, like a Corona or a Lonsdale, Corona Gorda, they kind of sounds like that. The Toro is usually my next best favorite. It's a good ratio of wrapper, binder, and filler to get you a good flavor of what the overall blend is. So let's go ahead and get this thing cut. Real earthy, woody flavors right off the cold draw. Really, really nice draw. It's got that, what I like, that milkshake draw to it. Not too firm and not too loose either. Just good, good firm draw to it. I'm going to light this thing up. See, it puts off a lot of smoke right out of the gate. Just a whole lot of smoke. It's a little bit earthy. It has it's woody, got a little bit of leather. There's a nice sweetness to it, and I kind of can't pinpoint exactly. It's not just sweet. There's more to it. There's more depth to it. I can't put my finger on it right now though, but it does have a little bit of spice. It has a long finish on it. I'm still tasting that cigar. It kind of just rolls to the back of my palate, and it's still going. But yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that sweetness a little bit more. But anyway, I want to smoke this to the halfway point, and I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Everybody, I'm back, and as you can see, I'm at a halfway point now. It has just a really great flavor. It has a nice spice note that kind of is the underlying note for a lot of the other flavors. Kind of it's in the background of pretty much everything. I'm getting that nice leather note to it. I'm getting a nice oakiness to it, and that sweetness to me, what it kind of reminds me of is almost just like a caramel sweetness, but it's almost like a dried fruit kind of property to it. Like I don't know, it reminds me of like I don't know, like on the regular LSV, I get like a dried apricot kind of flavor, and I'm kind of getting that on this one, but it's not exactly the same. It's almost like, I don't know, like it's like a darker dried fruit, or like I don't know, like dried dates or so. That's not even right either. It's like a dried fruit, like a dehydrated fruit or something like that, you know. But it's really good. I really like this. I'm actually liking this a lot more than I like the first year. The first year was really spicy, and I'm not a real big fan of spicy cigars. But this one has a spice that's toned down. It's kind of like an accent note, pretty much in all the other notes, you know, because the flavor kind of rolls across the palate where it has, you know, you get that leather oakiness in the beginning, and then you kind of get into that sweet caramel, and then you get a little bit of the dried fruit. It kind of rolls across your palate like that. But throughout that whole flavor profile, you get a nice little spiciness in the background. It's almost kind of reminds me of almost like a little cinnamon note or something like that. It's got a little bit of sharpness like you will with black pepper, but it almost has, it's probably something like with the dried fruit, it kind of reminds me of cinnamon a little bit too. It's a really interesting blend. It's really complex too, real complex blend with the flavor profile anyway. And while we're off camera, I actually talked to Armando, and he said basically it's pretty much like last year's blend, except they took a leaf out of the Edicion Limitada from the LSV because he really liked that cigar, and they put that leaf in here. Now, I don't know what that leaf is, but it's in here, and I think it really enhanced the flavor of this blend. So far, really good. Price point of these, I forgot to mention at the beginning, is around $11 a piece. So if you want to get some of these, you know, we'll talk about how to get that at the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off, and I'll let you know what I think of my final conclusions. See you in a second. Everybody back. Let me say I'm right at the end of the cigar now. I'm pretty much getting the same flavors, but what's changing is which one is the more dominant. For me, like in the beginning of the cigar, the woodiness and the earthiness was more dominant than the rest of the notes in the cigar. As it got more to the middle of the cigar, I got more, I guess, more of that caramel sweetness and that dried fruit. Now I'm at the end. I'm still getting all those flavors, but for me, I'm getting a little bit more leatheriness out of the end of the cigar. Overall, really a fantastic cigar. I really love the flavor profile of this one, and to me, out of all the Elogios, and I've smoked every one of them, to me, I think this might be the best blend they've ever done. And it's kind of taken, it's kind of a mix of like I think it's the Habano, the LSV, and the EL series, and kind of mix them into one cigar. So kind of can't go wrong with that formula. Just a really outstanding cigar. So if you want to get some of these, call Armando at Crescent City Cigar. He has two locations. One that's actually in the French Quarter in downtown New Orleans, and also one in Metairie, Louisiana, which is just north of New Orleans. So give him a call at Crescent City Cigar and see if hopefully there'll be some of these left by the time you see this video. But definitely snag you at least a 5-pack, because it's one that is a really outstanding cigar, and I think it will age extremely well. I actually think a little bit of time on these will make them even have more of a more fuller and more mellow profile, if that makes sense. But outstanding stick, can't recommend it high enough. And on that note, I'll see y'all next time.
Water on the moon. Water on the moon. October sky. when she checked the time. She said, I'm sure you'll